Welcome back to the Cranium Cast podcast. I'm your host, Justin Carroll. It's been a minute since I've done a podcast, but it's great to be back. And today I have a friend of mine, Jody McAlister. Jody.
What's up, you guys? This is Jody McAlister, and I'm really honored to be on the Cranium Cast podcast.
Thank you.
And Justin's a real good friend of mine. He just transferred into the college that I'm about to graduate from, and he's a super cool dude. Hope you guys give him a lot of love. This man's got a good head on his shoulders.
Thank you.
But yeah, I'll just talk about myself a little bit. I'm an All-American this year in the sport of wrestling. I wrestle at Ron University, NAIA, and I'm also going to be a graphic designer, and my minors are marketing and mathematics. Trying to make the world beautiful, and just make sure that everybody can look at the good part of life.
Right. Yeah. You like I like when my bad. Even when I first met you, man, I could immediately tell just kind of like how we shared a lot of similar attitudes towards things, and there's a lot of things like I knew I could pick up from you that were really important. That like, well, you know, I don't know how a lot of people get into it. I just kind of know how I got into focusing on my mentality so much and really valuing it a lot more than what I used to. And it was just when I got so in my head and I got so just freaking out over everything. When I finally learned how to handle that and I had a good head on my shoulders, I was like, wow, this is so different. And there's not as much bad in the world as I thought, in my life at least. And you learn how to look at things differently and be much more grateful for this and that. And I immediately could tell that was in you, and because of the things you talk about and everything like that. But it's cool to me. It's cool to meet people like that, and I think it's really important that people understand those kind of things.
Yeah, for sure, dude. When I was younger, I was always kind of like an awkward kid, to be honest.
No, I'm in the same way.
I was super quiet. I didn't really say much to anybody, and it wasn't until really 6th grade where I started spreading my wings and really trying new things and trying put myself out there. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, you really do have to put yourself out there, and you really have to experience things. Yeah. I'm a big trial and error guy, so I'm always trying to dive into new things, see how I react, see how I like them, and that really did help me with the right support, with people around me that were encouraging, and they were able to even tease me at times, and even that that stuff like that sticks, once you go through a hard adversity, then that's the biggest lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
And so that's why I feel it's that much more important to put yourself out there and make sure that you really go through trials, because you have to overcome trials your whole life,
For sure. Yeah. No, dude, you said that really well, and I don't think it's really hard to even add on to that, because you covered so much of it. But that's really how it is, though. And a lot of people, whether they're really fortunate and they have lived such a life that was so sheltered, or they never had to go through a hardship. And I think sometimes it's more of a curse and a blessing. I feel like when parents have kids in this specific situation, I guess, and they're really well off and they can help keep this child from going through so much, in their eyes, they're just trying to provide and be good parents and make things less stressful on them and their child. Right. But sometimes, depending on how you handle it and you react to those things, you become entitled and you feel so deserving of everything and you're so ungrateful. But other times, my parents were always pretty well off. We were never crazy, but we didn't have to struggle for too much. Mm-hmm. And especially more recently, just due to their schedules and stuff now. But when I started seeing, when my mom would start worrying over stuff, and I started seeing how much things actually mattered and how I couldn't just spend money whenever I wanted and I had to work for things. And I saw that in people around me who, when I would complain about this, they would complain about something worse. And I was like, well, now I feel like a bad person, because you see how ungrateful I sound. Mm-hmm. But and some people just don't, they're not aware of how to look at that stuff. They don't think that stuff's that important. I met so many people, whenever I try and talk about mindset training or just having a good attitude, they said that stuff didn't mean anything. and they'd be like, oh, this is like worthless, this is lame. And it's like, that's crazy. Like it isn't. It matters so much.
Yeah, for sure. That carries through the parents to the child very, very fluently. Like it's hard not to be. People are habitual, so you're not gonna not pick up stuff from your parents, especially if they weren't allowed. If they didn't allow you to go through trials, then you're not gonna know how to react when you do actually hit a real trial.
Right.
And I feel like whenever you go through trials, you have to make sure that you're
no, you're straight, man. Don't worry about it.
Oh my gosh. I don't like it's gotten to a big habit of people to think that adversity is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I feel like keeping that mindset that adversity is in some way good. I mean, we kind of spoke on this earlier. Like there are going to be people that will let you down, but there's only so much you can control, dude.
Right. Exactly.
And you can't be mad at yourself for something going bad when it was out of your control. I feel like it's a big thing to keep your head on. Is like be open to every opportunity and don't be too disappointed if it doesn't work out for you, because there's still more opportunities, way more opportunities out there.
Yeah. No, I forget who did it. I keep seeing these ads for it, and it's about that. I think it's a fighter. I think it's Mike Tyson. I keep thinking it's Mike Tyson. And someone's like, "Hey, I'm sorry if I'm bad at this, whatever." And they're like, "At least you tried. Most people didn't try."
Right.
And it's like, yeah, that's fair. And so like, who cares if someone says something like you tried? And that's something I want to get out of a habit of too. Is like, you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I hear that a lot from people. And it's like, whether a lot of times in wrestling, but like in a life thing, that's fair too. Though, like, I want to do a lot of things. Like if I want to go talk to someone and meet someone new who I think might be cool that I see or whoever it is, like I can do that. I can want to do that all day, but I sit there and I'm like, oh, I feel so heavy. Like I don't want to go talk to them. Right. I'm like nervous. I feel like I'll mess that up and be weird. But like if you never do it, you'll never get better, and you'll never even like have the opportunity. You'll never know how much you miss out on because you don't try.
Yeah, I heard somebody say this quote one time. He said, "Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right."
Yeah, I seen that. That one's so good.
I was like, dang, that one hit for real.
Yeah.
But just to add on a little bit of what I wanted to talk about a little bit. This is my first podcast, by the way. It's super excited to get on here, and
it's a pleasure to have you for your first one.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's real cool to just like let out my ideas and just kind of plot them.
Such a platform, bro.
It really is. It makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel like I've got my head on a swivel and I'm.
Do you feel like, especially like, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, bro.
I feel like. It really makes it's almost like a job, not a job, but like you feel responsible for like your head on your shoulders, not just for yourself, but like I think a lot of times people who struggle with having a good attitude towards their self care so much about other people because they don't think that highly of themselves. So like, I'm going to put this other person first though, cause they matter and I'm not that, you know what I mean?
That's right.
But like, what was I going to say? I feel like, dang, what is it you said that got me on that?
Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're probably right.
Yeah. Because I would struggle. I struggle with my attitude a lot of times for myself, but I want to do so much for others. So when I got to get to a point where I could, like when I started my podcast, and I want to have something good to say, because if I can figure out the answers to give to you about similar issues that I struggle with, then I'll have answers for myself. But most importantly, though, if I can see someone else not have to go what I went through, and they don't have to feel that kind of pain, and they can just learn their lesson now and know what to look out for, then like that makes them better, and that makes me happy that I stopped that. You know, and it's not like a like greedy thing and like a pride. Like I don't want to flex that and like flaunt it on everyone, but it's like it makes me feel happy because I'm doing something and giving back, and it's not all about me anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's a big factor to have, like, as a moral compass. That's awesome that you desire to help people, because like, you know, everybody's been through their trials, so, and it takes a certain amount of care for the world just to go out and like try and go out your way to help somebody else with their struggles.
Yeah,
like, that's super cool.
I appreciate it, man.
That's super cool that you're able to not mind yourself for a little while and like support, put your beams under somebody else and help them stand.
Yeah, I think that's something like you said about you always pick up something from your parents. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of it with my mom, and not that my dad didn't do it. My dad did it a lot, and he's done a lot of fair share of like sacrifice for us. But like a lot of times my dad would work a lot more, so I would see him, and a lot of times he had to spend the night at my granddad's because whenever my grandmother passed away, like he would stay up there a couple nights a week, and just help him not be lonely. And him and my uncle would switch and do whatever. But I'd see so much of it in my mom, and like my parents as a whole would do it. But like anytime there was something I wanted to do, but they wanted to do, and I didn't care to do what I wanted to do that much, but I know they really wanted to, and then they would go, let's go do what you want to, and they won't complain, and they're happy for you because you're happy. Mm-hmm. And it's like I still feel like I'm pretty selfish a lot of times, but like I'm taking steps in the right direction, but it's like I feel like there's so much more to do, and that's crazy that there's people out there like that. Like I've seen my mom do so much and not say a word and expect anything in return.
Right.
Like she'll never tell us Christmas gifts she wants. She'll never do anything, but she'll be so upset if we don't tell her anything. It's like it's hypocritical, but it's like that's a mom, and that's parents as a whole. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, but like just having a direction and having somebody there to boost you through mm-hmm. the bigger steps than others, then that's super awesome. And that was kind of what I was wanting to talk about today, is just like ways to structure your success and make sure you're on track, and like make sure that you know yourself before you're ready to face the world, and I mean, like that's not necessarily before, but because it's all one journey, mm-hmm. It's all gonna be full of like complications here and there, and then the timing of things is gonna be different. But here's my little system, I guess you can say. I've been trying to work on making a little bit stricter schedule for myself lately, and I feel like that's really gonna boost me up. But there's flaws to every system. I'm not gonna say that this is the right way, you know.
I get what you mean.
And I don't know if you guys watch Naruto out there.
I hope so.
But like the famous Itachi says, there's weakness to every jutsu. Mm-hmm. Have you seen Never Back Down? The boxing movie, the fighting movie?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's really cool. The teacher of the gym tells the main character, and he says they're fighting and they're doing jujitsu, and he's teaching them how to fight through a roll, and at the end he tells them, he says there's always a way out, there's always a way through the toughness, there's always some way that you can get the guy off you before it happens. And I really admire those things, really you have to accept that everything has its flaws and can be beneficial whether you look the way you look at it.
Yeah Your outlook on it. I'm sorry, by the way, if I keep getting us off track.
No, you're good, bro. It's your podcast.
No, man. I'm glad to have you on it, though. But yeah, what is it? No, like it's good to have a good outlook on things like that, because if, like I was saying, I don't know if we talked about it earlier, but I think that's when I brought it up. But it was like, I got in such a like trance, or I just got in such like a brainwashed state of like having such a good head on my shoulders, like, I would freak out over stuff that was happening, like drama between me and my friends at the time, and it would really mess with me, and like, because I care a lot about other people. Yeah. And I was like, I love these people, like, why is this junk happening, why did, like, and I was being so overwhelmed by it. But whenever I got diagnosed with my cancer, and like I got my car towed and everything like that, it really didn't bother me. Like, I've never cried once over my cancer. Mm-hmm. The only time I cried was right before they put me to sleep in my first surgery, because I just was freaking out over going to sleep. Like, I wanted to make sure I actually went to sleep.
Right.
And I hate needles, bro. But that's neither here nor there. But no, like, I had such a good attitude and everything. I was like, well, I can control what I can control. And honestly, they think it's been there for years. So it's like, what does this change about me?
Right.
Like I have to have surgeries, but like, what's different? Like I know about it now. That's really all that's different. It's been there, so who cares? Like I'm not gonna cry over it because there's nothing to cry about. It's already been a part of my life.
Yeah.
And not just that, but like whether you're religious or whatever. For me, it's religion, and everyone else has a different approach. But for me, like I believe I'm a Christian. And I believe in God, so I believe that there's a plan for me, and so He has a journey He wants me to go on. He has a path, and as long as I'm trying to do the right things, whatever, then like He's gonna help me get through it. And so, every story has like downfalls, but it's to help build them into the hero they are at the end of it. And so for me, this was a big eye opener because it made me so much more grateful for a lot more or less. Like I valued spending time with my parents. I valued much more little things. Just to have the opportunity to wrestle now, I'm not mad about winning or losing anymore. I'm mad at my work ethic and my attitude towards it. But that's where I'm like, I at least like I understand the fact that like some people don't even get the chance to. Not that they're disabled. Like some people are disabled. Some people don't have the money. Some people don't want to, and some people regret it years later. So it's like, I think everyone has something like that, and I just hope that everyone has like the head, me included, like just a good head on their shoulders at the time to understand that this could be an eye opener in the future. This could really put you in a good spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said to appreciate the little things.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't realize what they have.
It's easy to fall into that.
It's so easy. It's so easy because today's day and age, you have everything you need. You have way more than you need.
Mm-hmm.
Most people, at least in the United States.
Yeah.
But definitely you got to learn how to appreciate what you already have and love those things more. Because you never know if you're not going to have it tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
One crazy thought I had this summer is, it's really weird because I'll just tell you and then I'll tell you why. I had the thought of, wow, if I died like right now,
yeah,
like if it happened like that, just I signed off, and I look back on my life, I would be really satisfied with that. Okay. And that just like overfilled me with joy. Like, and I told my little brother about it because like it was a crazy thought. So and he's relative to my age, so
yeah,
it wasn't
too I met him the last time we were here.
Yeah. And yeah, he wasn't like traumatized by it either. But it was just weird that I talked about death so comfortably, and I was like, wow, that really does like make me happy that I could look back and be like, dang, I had a pretty crazy life.
Yeah, awesome. And that's I never kind of looked at it like that. I would have the same reaction, but mine would be from like, well, are you upset that you're dying now? You didn't get to experience these things, and like in a selfish me, like yeah, I kind of wish I could get married. I wish I could have kids and stuff. But it's like if I died from my cancer or something, my mom asked me or someone said that because she was so emotional, and she's a parent. My dad was too because they're like. Like what's gonna happen to our baby,
Exactly.
But I was just like, if I'm really a Christian, then like I live my life has purpose, and so if I die now, then like I did what I had to, I did what I did, and I hope I gave someone something, because it's not like in an ideal world or a utopia or whatever, I'd love to do it for millions of people or as many as possible,
Yeah.
But if you do something for one person, you change that person's life. And so that means so much, though.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that's where it's like, just being able to, like, have a good head and reaction to things and not get sucked into things so easily.
For sure. I got a little bit of an example about that.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a backstory. It was I started wrestling in, like, 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had a buddy in there that I grew a really good relationship with, not just through wrestling, but mainly through wrestling because it's an awesome sport. So I should try it. But my freshman year, I went into high school. I was wrestling and I was on the starting varsity, and my older brother was actually a senior, and we were drill partners, so we were around the same weight, and it was a big deal because. His junior year, he placed in state, and so I was like, "Oh!" And I'm little dog, I'm thinking, I'm like, I could beat this dude. Like, I couldn't beat him yet, but I was like, I can beat him One day I'll be able to beat him. And so I was just super excited about the season, you know. And I told myself my freshman year, my goal I set, I wanted to. Well, hold on, let me think. Okay, yeah. My goal my freshman year was to make it to state.
Yeah.
Because the previous year, me getting out of high school or middle school, I went to the state competition to see my brother. And I was like, this is crazy, dude. I have to be in the lights, bro. I have to compete in these lights, in this Coliseum, dude. It's wild.
Yeah.
And making Cineplex, too, bro. Like, it was awesome. And so that was my goal all year, and I did really good for myself. I won area, which is like the first preliminary, and then there's sectionals in the state, and I fell one step short of the same guy that I beat in sectionals, and he actually ended up placing he ended up placing third in state freshman year.
Wow.
And then it kind of lit a fire on me, but like it wasn't enough. My sophomore year, I had a bigger head in my shoulders, and my buddy that I started wrestling with, we started like actually like really getting good. I mean, we won a couple tournaments our freshman year, but sophomore year we started getting really good, and both of us made it to state, and that my goal that year was to place in state, and I ended up making it all the way to the semifinals of the state tournament.
Wow.
And didn't even expect to make it far in the state. I mean, I made it, and it was an awesome feeling, and I loved it. But I was a sophomore, and I was sitting there after I won the quarters, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can win state.
Yeah.
This is in my hands.
Yeah.
This is what I could do.
Uh-huh.
And so it was just that, in that moment, I was like, dude, whoa.
Yeah.
And so I just got super turned up for my state semifinals match, and I can't say it was bogus, but you know the ref was not calling stalling points, and very close match. It was a dude from McNair in 2015, and I ended up getting 5th my sophomore year.
Wow.
And after that state semifinals match, dude, I got the car with my parents. I cried my eyes out, dude. I was just devastated.
Yeah.
Because that's when I realized I was like, I sold myself short. My expectations were way too low.
Uh-huh.
And that's what made me go even lower. And so that's what lit the fire under me like super. Because my junior year, there was nothing but first. You know, and that's when I really started getting the mentality of, if I'm not the best, I don't want it, you know, like, and then that is a little bit like borderline, like, too much, because you don't want to give yourself false hope.
Yeah, or like the if it's not the best, I don't want it kind of thing.
No, I wouldn't say that. This was just the year that like I realized if I'm aiming for the top,
you're not going to be satisfied with anything less, like.
Yeah.
Like in the idea, like right now, like if you get it, like you're grateful, because it's like the saying, like if you shoot for the moon, if you fail, if you land short, you land in the stars. Right. So you're still out there.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what I was thinking. Like, if I don't get first, then I can't be mad at myself if I tried everything that it was in my power to get first.
Right.
I ended up beating a 3-time state champion, and he was going for his 4th title.
Oh my goodness!
As a junior, it was super turnt. I dabbed on him after the state tournament, and it was a good feeling. It was a good day. And then I won state my senior year, and went to Newberry, and then went to Reinhardt, and went to a couple of Virginia Beach national tournaments, and I did pretty well for myself there. I never placed, but I started doing that my sophomore year, and that's when I first started chasing the title of an All-American, which is top 8 in nationals.
Yeah.
And so that was a really satisfying feeling to come here and be able to get that All-American status.
Yeah. Well, that was last year, and you were a junior last year?
That's right.
Dude, it's crazy because I used to look at it, like when I watch D1 wrestling, it's weird now because my high school coach, I'm really close with, and he was telling me, he was like, you can't look at it like that. Like, those guys aren't these like role models, or these crazy like like celebrities. Like I guess you can't put them up on such a pedestal. Yeah. Like you're in the same age as them now. You're in the same you're in college too, and you're wrestling in college. You are your opponents at that point. So I'm like, I have an even higher bar to set now because like one I was not complacent, but like I'm in the NAIA, so like I'm only focusing on the NAIA. You know what I mean? But ideally, like if you love wrestling so much or you have an outlet like that for you, after college is over, you have to go to the highest level then. You have to go to making world teams, trying to make the Olympics, and then place and medal there. So it's like, I was like, dude, these guys are the same as me. Like, but I used to look at it as like, because I looked at them as like celebrities. Like, if you're not the best, you're the worst, kind of. And especially you have some you like more. Like, no one, a lot of people don't like DeSanto, and a lot of people.
Last.
Yep, but like people don't like DeSanto. Because how he wrestles sometimes, but other people find him really entertaining. Yeah. And people like people who trash talk and this and that, but people like people who are respectful. So it's like I had my picks and chooses or whatever, but like I looked at people who placed in All-American like 7th, 8th, even sometimes 5th through 6th. Like if you weren't top 4, like what do you like? You're not. You have a lot of growing to do, but like whenever I see people like on our level when they finally All-American or something like that. I look at them completely different. I'm like, I knew they were good because I'm comparing myself to them, and I know how crazy they are for me. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if they fall short, like, imagine how good those guys are. And now that I see that, it makes me realize, like, well, if I can hang with him, then I'm really a lot better than I thought. And you also look at it as, like, I saw all the effort he had to do and hard work he had to put in, and I missed some of it to see where he ended up, and he fell short of that. Yeah. But the fact that he even got there, I never expected. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, when I hear about people like when I now hear though like and I see people at D1 level who take 8th, I'm like that dude's crazy good, especially if you're in a tough weight class like 133 last year, like or this year before it got canceled. Like, dude, there's so much going on, and the fact that you're talented enough or fortunate enough or whatever to All-American, like that's crazy. Like and I bet for you hearing how your story went, like that's what drives an even bigger fire in your heart and a bigger hunger.
For sure, dude. For sure, it was a big hump for myself and for my mental because I went to Newberry my freshman year, and they're Division II. Okay. I was fortunate enough to get a starting position like the beginning of the year, half of the year, and I had a losing record, but I did pretty well, and that was I would definitely say that Newberry was a tough team, and I was lucky if I got like 2 takedowns in practice, dude. It was, wow. It was crazy. Like it was crazy how it happened. But it's been really cool. Like I've learned to love the sport of wrestling every year. Like
it's such a big blessing.
It is so cool. Like it's such a cool sport to be able to
it's a privilege,
move somebody and like just break your mind, break your mind release. You know, the biggest lesson that wrestling has taught me is your body can go way more than what your mind thinks it can.
Dude, it's such an it's so awesome to be able to like understand your body, and like it makes you like with how much hard work and stuff you put in, you have such an appreciation for the sport. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten to a point, and I'm like I said, I think I said it earlier, like just me trying to make sure I get back in a good frame of mind because like I don't know what affected me when, but I think I'm slowly starting to get on it because I don't want to even say like I don't even want to say it's still a thing. I want to say like I'm working on it or I'm getting better. So that way, like, because your attitude towards things matters. So if I keep giving it like the attention, then it's never gonna change. But no, like it just makes you like just so appreciative, and like I feel like I have such an even if I fall short of all my goals in wrestling, I at least had the privilege of doing it, and I learned so much.
Definitely.
Like you're so much better than what you used to be as a person.
Yeah, it's just another trial of adversity for you to overcome and really like be true to yourself, and you sit there and you ask yourself like, how am I going to get better at wrestling? It's kind of how you have to approach everything. I just started trying to teach myself a couple of new things. Like I want to be a dancer.
I feel that.
And it's so funny. Like I'm sitting here, standing in front of a mirror, trying to like do dance moves, and I'm not good. So
no,
like,
I'm the same way, man.
But I'm appreciating it because it's so cool to like sit there and teach myself from point A to point B. I can know where I started and where I'm gonna get, and it's gonna be really cool. And I think when I'm really good one day, and then I look back, I'm like, dang, I was really, really bad.
Yeah. Which I feel like we share a lot of similar interests on these things, but like I want to like talk about how I want to learn music just so I can, even if I never try and go anywhere with it or do anything, I at least have such a more like respect and appreciation for music. And whenever I hear music now and I hear certain instruments or certain like symphonies or melodies or whatever it is that they're doing, you're just like, wow, this is so good and so like talented and like, you know, like it's just, you're like, well, I see it now. Because before you're like, yeah, it's cool and all, but like I could do that if I just knew a couple things. And then you're like, wow, this is hard. Like me trying to play keyboard and stuff. Like I was practicing today, trying to get back into it. But no, like dancing's the same way, and there's so many things like that.
Yeah, freaking skydiving.
Oh, I'm too scared to do anything like that.
But you know how people like do like shapes and like there's so much out there like crazy adrenaline stuff that people are just insanely good at. And I watched those videos. I'm like, probably like 80% of these people are not like naturally gifted with this. Like, there's no way. You
had to have built up to it.
Yeah, I'm just curious on like how long they spent like doing it. You know, because time is a big factor. There's so much you can do with your time. You got to be choosy with it. That's kind of like where I feel like most people are gonna have to be selfish a little bit, you know, because this year it wasn't until this summer where I really started getting in tune with myself and really started like thinking about my future and like thinking about where I want to go. And I'm realizing that like it's gonna take a lot of time for me to get good at the things that I want to be good at and be able to use them in the real world. So I've been pretty selfish with my time lately, to be honest. And I you know, you can't feel bad about it because
no, dude, selfishness is made out to be such a bad thing a lot of times, and like in certain situations it is, but when you start prioritizing other people over yourself, it's cool that you do that, but it gets unhealthy after a while.
Definitely.
Maybe immediately. I don't know if I'd say immediately or not, but it could be. And it's just like you need to be selfish now because look at how much you're hurting yourself, and it's only causing more issues. Like those people aren't entitled to your help. You know what I mean? But you're entitled to your own help because you're you. Like you can control that. So give it to yourself. But you can't force people to do stuff for you or you them.
This is kind of like it'll be kind of like a metaphor, but it relates.
Okay.
My older brother, he's bad about not getting up sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially like when we're on like vacation, you know, like we got stuff to do, dude. Come on, get up. Like you're just gonna sleep all day. Come on now.
Yeah.
But dude, like he told me this one time when we went camping because we were like gonna go up a waterfall and all that stuff. Maybe like Tallulah Gorge or something like that. Anyways, he slept in for a good bit, and it wasn't until he woke up later on that day, you know, I was like looking at him like, bro, look at what time it is. Come on, we only got this amount of time to do this. And he was like, dude, if I'm not bringing 100% myself, that's selfish. And I don't think he used the word selfish, but you know, like, I don't know if do you get what I'm saying? Like, I need to be 100% for you. Basically, is what he's saying. And I was like, man, I respect that.
For sure. No, like there's a lot of times people are like so blind to it, and sometimes like I think you are at some point. You're not just gonna wake up like with that kind of stuff, but when you start realizing it, it's like I have to be a little selfish. Like sometimes there's a healthy amount to it. Like I gotta be selfish enough so I can succeed and thrive for myself and be a good person. I have to look after my own health because like eventually other people aren't going to keep doing things for you. Like if your parents gave you everything, eventually they pass and you're left to do something on your own, or if you have good friends, eventually they're going to have to do stuff for their families and themselves. So it's like you have to learn to do things to yourself and not be so dependent. Self-sufficient's the opposite. But yeah,
that's cool. It's what makes life.
Yeah.
When you have life, you have death. When you have responsibilities, you have risks.
Mm-hmm.
You
You can't believe in one without the other. It's like people who someone told me this and it was really weird. I heard it in church, so like, but it's applicable to a lot of things, just not like religion. But like, it was like people all the time want to talk about they believe in angels, but they don't believe in demons because like you're talking about demons do things or whatever, and it's like, well, if you believe in angels, demons exist too.
Right.
So if you believe in one, you have to believe in the other. So it's like you have to be aware of like everything that comes with that imbalance.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
Sorry,
say the word balance.
Steal that.
No, you're not stealing nothing, bro. You're good. But I'm just following off what you said.
Yeah.
Balance, like, if you don't believe in balance, then, like, you're doing something wrong. Because, like, balance is everything. Like, you can't do so much of one thing. I know this one quote this dude said, I think it was Odell Bizzle is what I want to say. But, he said, you need one thing to... Man, let me see if I can find it. I don't want to say it wrong.
No, you're good, man.
Find 3 hobbies. One to make you money, one to keep you in shape, and one to keep you creative.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to add one more. One to keep you social.
That's fair.
I feel like that's important, too.
I think it depends on who you are.
At least a limited amount of social, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. I don't know, because I was like, I love being social. Like whenever I can hang out with y'all or I can do stuff with my old friends, whatever, on the weekend or whatever, I'm like, let's do it every time we can, like any chance we get. Exactly. But like I've been realizing lately though, because I wasn't investing into I wasn't balanced. Let's have a callback real quick. I wasn't balanced, but in like all my hobbies or whatever those are, like I wasn't doing my hobbies that were getting me creative. I wasn't drawing anymore. I wasn't trying to write goofy songs on my phone. I wasn't practicing to my keyboard. I'm not doing things that like invoke creativity, and so I was like, how am I supposed to get better at these things I want to get better at, whether that's even wrestling or like me doing the goofy stuff in spike ball. It's like if you never do it or never spend time on it, then it's never gonna happen. So like I'm too invested into social, and I was like, I gotta take a step back for myself.
Yeah, definitely, dude. That's a big thing that I had to do too, especially when I first got around hard. I knew that I needed friends, and like friends are awesome, but I feel like I was a little bit too desperate for friends. Like I couldn't make myself happy. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's very important for people to do. Learn how to make yourself happy.
They rely on their happiness too much in other people, and it's like that. Right. You don't need that.
You got to provide your own happiness, at least a little bit. I mean, like some people's happiness is helping other people, and like this, I can understand that.
Yeah.
There's but like people are gonna let you down. People are temporary.
Can't be dependent, or whatever you say. Yeah.
People are very temporary. Well, not very temporary. It's that.
Or it's like that saying. I think I told it to you because I was talking about like, I have a lot of people I consider close friends, and then I saw this thing. Like it's more than 6, and like the number was like, you meet like you have 200 like. You have like over 200 friends in your life, but like only 6 of them aren't temporary, and it's like that's crazy if you think that, because I know the people I'm friends with, and we're gonna be boys for life, like girls included. But if this was Spanish, boys is priority in a mixed group of people, anyways, or masculine, whatever. But like I'm like, that's crazy to me, but I'm like, that might be true though. Like, there's people that are seasonal people. Like, they're not going to be there every day. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get comfortable with just what I'm doing now, so that way I'm not so dependent on that to make me a happy person.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
I'm aware of it. I just got to put it in. I just got to hire it and put it into work.
Oh, yeah, guys, if you haven't already, go follow my art page on internal_projections. If you don't mind.
No, go ahead. If you need to shout out more stuff, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff in the pocket right now. Making a new post every week. Everything's for sale, and it's coming. Big things coming. I'm also working on my own anime. That's gonna be this is my secret weapon right there. So y'all stay in tune for that.
No, I don't care if people like shout out stuff on here, because I'm like, I want to help give you, like, if I care enough to have you as a guest, whatever, I want you to like have your own audience or have your own opportunities for things, and if I can help provide that, then awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like, especially seeing what you've done, Jody, like, you got cool stuff, bro. And I'm like, I want that. I want to see that go somewhere. So like, if I can, I'm putting it out there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Like we can get on a little bit on creativity. Like I noticed you're a really creative person. I feel like I have potential. And I used to, like, in middle school and stuff, I used to be so stupid and into the dumbest stuff. But, like, I would make my dumb little YouTube videos, and I'd watch other people to try and take notes and, like, get more, like, creative with my stuff. I don't do that as much anymore, so maybe that's why. But, like, when I'm making jokes or just when I'm doing stuff, like, I feel like I have so much potential to be so, like, funny and, like, just creative with what weird stuff I say.
Yeah.
And I see that in you, I'm like, dude, he's like my friend Griffin. Like, Griffin will say all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, he makes me feel so, like, he's up here and I'm down here, and I got a lot of, like, growing to do. But what are things, like, you think people can get into to, like, help really develop their creativity?
That's a good point, dude. Because I don't know, like, I feel like I've been naturally creative throughout my life. I always had a coloring book with me when I was younger, but I feel like I do understand it enough to, like, help you guys out, I guess. But really, like, I feel like the most of my creativeness is just, like, comes from the stuff that I like to do and the stuff that I like to really pursue. Like, I just, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, just be yourself the best, the strongest and brightest you can be, you know, like.
Yeah.
Because, like, I say stupid stuff all the time, and, like, nobody laughs, but, like, I'll laugh my butt off, dude, like, every time I say it, like. Even if I'm, like, in a group of people, I'll like, you know, like, I'll just...
If it's funny to you, like, obviously it's funny.
Yeah, and it's even that much more funny if, like, somebody else laughs at it because it's a stupid joke, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of like the way I look at it. Like, you don't necessarily have to be somebody else's creative, you know? You just...
do whatever comes to your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of what helped me in my projects, though, whenever I have a good idea, I always try to write it down.
Yeah, you lose stuff so quickly. I'll think about stuff at night, and I'll be like, I'll write it down in the morning. I'm kind of tired. I feel like it might take a second. Or I don't want to make myself, like, awake again or whatever. And then I'm like, I wake up the next day, I'm like, I forgot.
Yeah, dude, like, I guarantee you, everybody out there thinks of one good idea every day.
You have to.
Like, you
have so many thoughts.
Right? You have so many thoughts. And once you start realizing that you are having those good thoughts and you see them on paper, that's what's going to make more good thoughts and more positive, like, creative thoughts. Because, like, once you start pondering in creativeness, you know, like I said earlier, like, people are habitual. So once you start thinking of outside the box stuff, then that's the more likely you're going to...
That's a good point. Yeah, when you talk about being yourself too, and not just the habitualness, I never even thought of that. But, like, being yourself, I kind of think I was always on, like, the tip of that, or, like, I was close to it, but I could never, like, come to that specifically, if that makes sense. I can't think of the right phrase. It was on the tip of my tongue, kind of deal. But yeah, no, like, I have all these cool ideas, and I'll take so much from people, and, like, especially clothes, because I've changed so much from how I dress and stuff. Like, in middle school, I wore my Vans and, like, McAlister all the time. And in high school, I wore running shoes and gym shorts and, like, gym clothes and a hoodie. Like, I was one of those people, and I do that all the time. And I was like, I'm comfy, whatever. And then I started, like, trying to, like, dress up more and do other stuff. And I was like, I want to look cool. Like, I can look cool in gym clothes, but, like, I have to have a cool at different levels. And, like, over the past couple of years, I've started getting into stuff that, like, I'll pick from this person, or I'll see this, and, like, I don't care that no one's into this. I think it's awesome, and I'm going to rock it. And so, like, that's where you get so creative. Like, Tyler, the Creator, is a good example of that, bro. You don't even have to like his music, but respect what the man's done, though. First off, he's grown so much as an artist. It doesn't have to be your taste, but he's changed dramatically with producing his own album instead of Help. And the ones he was producing previously sucked. In, like, retrospect, I guess. But, like, he did that. if you saw, like, he tweets random coloring book things he'll draw. The dude's an artist. He's so good at drawing, and the colors he uses are so awesome. And then you see, like, his album covers. You see his clothes he designs. His whole brand. He designed 2 brands on his own. And all of it's so, like, millionaire, like, quality.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, and all he did was just do what he wanted. He just, he had an idea and he put it down.
Tyler Creator is the best at being him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He flaunts it and he does it so swagger-like.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, he just rocks it, bro. There's nothing to worry about. Like, if you compare, like, him 5 years apart, he wears, like, sandals and stuff all now, and, like, really loose jeans that don't even go down all the way, and, like, a sweater vest or, like, just a vest over something, and dress really formal, and dress shoes a lot, too. And he's not wearing Vans or Converse anymore, and I'm like, where'd this guy go? But he's, like, when he first, like, dropped his album, he was, like, 18, and now he's, like, 28. So it's like, dude, he's grown so much. Yeah, but just to see him still not care.
Yeah. I've been trying to do that lately. Like, I brought a bunch of collared shirts up here and, like, my nice, like, jackets and sweaters because I heard from someplace that, I think it was actually Drake. I don't know if you guys listen to Drake, but in one of his songs, he says, living in the house that used to be on my lock screen.
Wow.
And basically, what that's saying is you got to practice being successful. You got to envision yourself.
Oh yeah, that's really fair. Yeah.
Being in that fancy restaurant with your fine wife and like big old diamond on her. Like
yeah.
You really got to think yourself in that spot because you got to just train your mind to want it and to think about it over and over.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. You brought up a really good point with that about like just you have to train your mind to want it, or like you get like it's all about like your attitude and stuff. Because it's like if you focus so much on the bad, eventually you're gonna get sad. If you only think about how much you're struggling right now, you're never taking any steps to be successful, and you're never growing. It's literally like I get told this in wrestling a lot because I have a bad habit about it right now. But it's if you try to be reactive the whole time and you don't ever initiate anything or take any actual attacks, you're never gonna score and you're never gonna like stop me because I can do whatever I want and you're just reacting to it. There's only so much I can do before someone will get something, and so it's like it's applicable to so many aspects of your life though. So like I'm trying to like practice being myself more, and like. I worry too much about what people think, and I'm trying to get over it. And I've grown a lot, because I'm like, who cares? Like if I like it, I like it, and it's nothing. It's not like if I like it, then I don't have to please other people, kind of deal. But I was telling Ivan and like my roommates about it. You ever heard of Depop?
Depop?
Yeah.
No.
It's like an eBay, but mainly for clothes and stuff, like accessories and shoes and stuff like that. But it's all people like kind of our age who just sell like. Either like vintage looking old clothes or like they'll resell shoes or whatever. Like you can find whatever brand you want on there. I get a lot of my skate clothes on there or just like t-shirts that are like graphic design and stuff. I've gotten some of my Vans on there. I got these on there.
Nice.
But anyways, so like I like thrifting for that too because you find unique stuff and you're not buying with like I'll buy stuff from stores obviously, but like this is really unique to me and like it's not just 50 million copies that are getting sold right now, so it's my style. And I found these corduroy pants, and I was like, they're like brown corduroy pants, and I was like, these would go hard, like black Vans, white socks, white tee. If I could rock a hat, I'd rock a hat. But like that'd be such a good fit, and I was like, it's not gym shorts, so to me it's more formal, and like. I'm wearing pants and I put together an outfit. I have a belt on right now. It's better than like anything else. So I'm like, that's my style.
I've never been the type of guy that like wears a lot of jewelry.
Oh yeah, no.
But lately I've been like thinking like I just want like a gold chain or something like that. Just like something gold. Just like something that's like I'm gonna deserve this.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know what I would get because. Like I have my the only thing I wear. I used to wear an Apple Watch a lot, and I have it in my bag. I never take it out unless I just need to check something that I can on my phone. But I wear my like "What Would Jesus Do" bracelet a lot. It's like an accessory, and it's kind of a trend, but like I like it. I have a bunch of them, and it's just a little small accessory. And like I wish I could put them on. Like I don't know if I'd ever rock anything, like not even a watch or anything, because I hate having to take stuff off for wrestling in general.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I used to have my ear pierced.
Oh really?
Yeah, I just need to get some new studs.
I've never done it. I've never had any interest in things like that. Like never cared for tattoos. I don't care for people having them. Like it's you, but like to me, I've never felt the need for it. And it's like, I guess my version of tattoos is I draw on every one of my contact case. Something that's relevant. It's like on one of them, it was the first time I ever drew it. I drew Cranium season on it, and I made those stickers now. I have a podcast that has like a similar design on it, and I write lyrics usually that are pertaining to me at the time. I wrote "Come Back Down to Earth," and I drew like a globe, and like I'll write lyrics, and I'll just try to put like creative designs to it, and really like make the lyrics a painting, and tell you what I see, kind of deal. And but that's where like I try to get that's my personality, and that's where I try to express things. I guess it's not necessarily like, I guess that's what tattoos are and piercings and stuff. It's you expressing yourself, but I just never found like appeal to it. For me, I don't feel like I could rock that.
I have one tattoo.
Yeah.
And it's on my ribs because it represents courage.
Okay.
And so I feel like if I get a tattoo that means courage, and I don't have to put it in the worst place to get a tattoo.
Oh, because that's courage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really respectful.
It actually comes from Legend of Zelda. I don't know if you played that before.
Oh, I've played Link in the Past.
Yeah, well, basically the storyline is there's a princess, and then evil dude, and then the swordsman that saves the princess from the evil dude. And the basically the princess and the evil dude and the swordsman, they all have this power called the Triforce.
Yeah,
and, they all get like one side of the Triforce, which is 3. And the top one is wisdom, which is the princess, and then the princess one is the left one. But anyways, the power dude, his Triforce power is power, and then the swordsman has courage.
Okay.
And so that's why it's kind of funny, because like courage isn't a superpower. So like, but like
it kind of is too, though.
It kind of is, but it's just like,
it's not really. It's just like, this is what you could have been doing the whole time, I guess.
It's like you're capable.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's capable of having courage. Kind of like Rock Lee. I don't know if you've watched Naruto like that, but
oh, dude, Rock Lee, he's such a meme, but he's also like, he's that dude though. Like him and Naruto for like, what do you call it? Like suffrage and just like tough times and adversity.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Rock Lee had nothing. Bro has just taijutsu, and like I would watch, like when I was rewatching Naruto.
His attitude's on 10.
Yeah, he's like, if I fail like 100 push-ups and I have to do 500 squats.
Yeah.
He's like, if I mess that up, I'll do 200 handstand walks. And it's like, these are so much harder than what you were doing before. If you couldn't do this, you're not gonna do this. But he just keeps going until he gets it. It's awesome.
For sure.
And he doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. The dude's rocking a bowl cut. Kind of rocks it low key. But no, that's funny. But no, like, no, we've covered some great topics in this. It's been some good stuff for sure. I'm really glad we had this talk, because I think like there's a lot of things I took away from it that if no one else does, at least I did.
Yeah, it's super cool going down memory lane and just being able to talk about myself, talking about your experiences. It's just awesome to always like share views.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That helps you understand yours even more.
Yeah, you have just a better like. That's what I was telling Michael earlier about, like, if you never challenge your thoughts, then you'll never be stronger in your like faith of it or your thoughts. But
you won't grow.
Yeah. Well, Jody, thanks for coming on the podcast, man. It's like I say this a lot of times, but it's like this is probably one of my favorite ones right now.
Sweet, bro.
So thanks for coming on it.
For sure.
And
happy to.
It's good to be doing podcasts again. Hopefully these will be more of a returning segment or whatever, and I'll upload more frequently. But thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. That was pretty good, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Do you like that?
Hell yeah.
That was 55.